Good morning. I'm the author of Gifty Etc. at giftyetc.blogspot.com. And I wanted to show you some tips and tricks that I use in my planner. Some of the things that I talk about on my blog, but also some things that I think you're going to really enjoy. First, I want to show you the necklace that I'm wearing this month. It's just a notepad and a little ink pen. And I like it both for planning, but also because I'm writing a novel this month, and so that's a lot of fun. Now, on to our planner, the important part. So this is my Franklin Covey planner, and there are certain things that I like to do to make my planner work for me. One of the things I did is I cut out the pen strap. You might have heard me talk about this before. Instead of a pen strap, I simply put my ink pens right here in the side of the pocket. And that has never been a problem. They've never fallen out. I think that's a really cool trick because a lot of people talk about how they can't keep their ink pens in the pocket. This also allows me to use two different color ink pens. I have a green ink pen and I have a pink ink pen. And the way that I use these is my green ink pen, and sometimes I use blue or purple, whatever color works for me. But what I do is I write generally in the darker color. You'll see I'm writing in the darker color. And then if I need to really remember something, highlight it, I'll use the pink color. And I wanted to show you that these ink pens, these Frixion Pilot ink pens, are fully erasable. And to erase, you simply move the back of the pen over the paper. They do erase better on the actual calendar paper that I have. They erase totally clean on that paper. Here on this graph paper, which is just made with copy paper, it sort of will leave little marks, and I sometimes have to go over it again. But that's all right because on the actual professional paper, it erases really well. So I do recommend these erasable ink pens. If the ink disappears, maybe because it gets too hot in your car, they are heat sensitive, you can simply pop it in the freezer overnight and your writing will come back, and then you can see the things that you've erased or the things that have faded. I do keep a lot of stuff right here in the note part of my planner. I keep, little invitations to birthday parties and wedding showers and that sort of thing. And that's one of the advantages of a paper planner over a cell phone. It's a place where you can keep things, little coupons for Christmas shopping. You've heard this before if you go on my blog, but I keep a dashboard right here in front, and I just make it at home with printable graph paper, and I just cut along the lines to make it the right size. Some people have asked me what kind of paper color and hole puncher I use. So for my paper, because I have graph paper, so I have pretty straight lines anyway, I use a scissors. And for my hole punching, I take this little card out. It's just one of those hard plastic flyleaf cards, and I just put some washi tape here to make it prettier. But I just take it out and I use it as a guide for where I'm going to punch my holes, and I punch them with an individual hole punch. So I'm not very fancy over here. I'm just trying to get things done. Having my extra paper on this first page means that I have plenty of room to jot down things if I'm in a rush, and it's probably my favorite planner hack. And a hack is just a tip or trick that makes your planner a lot easier to use. So if we turn to our project pages, and I have at least two projects that I don't want everyone to see what I'm doing, so let me hide those. But if I turn to my project page, you'll see that one of my hacks, and I have an entire video about this, is making an index just with the letters of the alphabet along the edge, and then listing my projects. And projects are things that I'm actively working on. But I want to show you a couple other little tricks that I use within my projects. So if we go to the very first project, NaNoWriMo, it's National Novel Writing Month. You'll see one of the little tricks I use is right here in the upper corner of each page. I write the name of the project, or if I'm filing things in the back in the notes section, the name of the notes that I'm filing, and I use the same kind of setup as projects, and I will use the name of the notes. So right here I have my babysitter's name, right? That is going to help me keep track of things. Next, I use this graph paper to make little calendars where I can check things off as I get them done. And I think that's a great hack because you don't have to make something fancy. You can draw this in just a minute or two. And now I can keep track of how much I have written each day of the month. Another little hack that I have is for household management. And again, you can see this on my blog, but I want to show you some specifics. So I made a checklist. Every 10 days, I have a checklist of what I've cleaned up in the house. When I get near the end of the 10 days, I look at those categories that I haven't really focused on. So I haven't cleaned the tubs or the toilets or dusted or cleaned any appliances in the past 10 days, in the past 7 days. And I go ahead and I sort of highlight those areas with my pink or red or orange, whatever my lighter color ink pen is. By highlighting these areas, I now know that today, tomorrow, or the next day, so sometime this weekend, these chores really do need to get done, and they really are important. I think it's a simple hack. It's something that's going to take care of your chores and make sure that they get done without putting them in your main planner where you really need time-sensitive stuff to be written there. Another hack that I do is I use washi tape to block out the parts of the month that are not dated. And I go ahead and I cross out each day as it passes. So I do have some stuff to hide down here. So let me go ahead and hide that. But I cross out each day as it passes. So cross out yesterday because it's over. That helps me to jump my eyes to exactly what I need to do today. And so today I had to do carpool, I have to go to the dentist, and I have a ladies' night tonight. It's much easier to read when I do that. Something else that I do is where I have my weekly pages, and this is where I keep my to-do list. I don't put my appointments on the same page as my weekly pages, but where are my weekly pages, I go ahead and color in and sometimes doodle with my highlighting color. So here's my highlighting color, and I go ahead and color or doodle on the things that are already done. So right now I'm going to go ahead and color or doodle Thursday because it's done. I'm left-handed, so I'm sorry you're not really going to be able to see me doing this very well, but I'll just go ahead and color in, make a box around that day where everything is done. And then as I want to, the mood strikes me, that's where I'll do my doodling. So doodling can go in that area. And it makes it real easy at a glance to see that I'm on to today instead of the last week. Another little trick I use, I keep track of other people's schedules, like my son's homework, right up here on the page. And if I need to buy anything at the grocery store, I will go ahead and buy it and put it right here on the page, right on the top of the page underneath my dates until I'm ready to make my grocery list. So I really maximize the use of this page. Another little hack, and I've talked about it before, but let me go ahead and talk about it now, is that due dates, very important things, go right here in the first column. Things that I have to do on the day that's listed go right here on the second column. And things that I want to do but maybe won't get to, and I don't know if I'll quite get to it, like my weekly review, which I may get to on Sunday or may wait till Monday, go right here on the third column. So that's sort of how I organize this, and it's a good tip to keep things bunched together. Another little hack that I use is to use a letter like C for things that need to be done at the computer, or E for errands that need to be done, right here on my page. And those little letters help me decide, okay, I'm going to run some errands. What errands do I want to do today? Or I'm getting on my computer, what things do I need to take care of? And I take care of them very quickly. Another little thing that you can do, a little hack, but a great hack, is to have a future page. So you'll see I have future written right here. And then I have a future page, and my future page includes all of the different things that are coming up in the future that don't fit on my calendar right now. Now I'm going to do something else with this. I am going to bookmark it. Bookmark right at the top, my future page. And this bookmark is just going to mean that it's so easy to get to this page. It's going to make it so much easier to just turn to it whenever I want to. In my notes, I keep anything that I need to have with me, and there are a lot of great ideas for reasons why you might want to use a day planner instead of a phone. And one of the reasons that I like using a day planner instead of the phone is because I do remember to write things like locations of items throughout my house. Where's that turkey pan at Thanksgiving? That sort of thing. At the very back, in addition to my supplies, I keep some nice post-it notes, and I'm going to move them to the side so you can see, but they're owls and they're really cute and they're great for writing a little note to my kid's teacher or to my husband to remind him to take something out of the freezer. They're great to have, and I do that instead of a notepad since I do have blank paper right here at my dashboard area. So these are things that I've told you about before. These are things that are listed on my blog, but they're little tips and tricks that really make my planner work for me. And after all, your planner working for you is the reason that you have one. Please visit giftyetc.blogspot.com for more interesting ways to use your planner and stay organized.